Today, I'm delighted to be speaking to one of the most influential people in the world of project management. Often described as a world champion of project management, he's a thinker, an author, an educator, and also a practitioner. So welcome, Antonio Nieto Rodriguez.
Thank you, Richard. A pleasure to be here with you for spending a bit of time discussing about the future of projects and strategy. A pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So tell me, I understand you started life as an economist. So how does an economist get into project management?
I think like many of us, we've just been by coincidence, by chance. I started to work for PwC, and the first thing they put me was in a big SAP implementation project. And my first task was to bring the coffee to the project director. So I thought I want to be a project director too.
So somebody could bring you coffee.
Yeah.
So after PwC, you clearly carved out quite a career in project management, because in 2016, you were chair of PMI.
Yes, Richard, I get passionate like many, and I know you're passionate about this profession, which is half science, half art, and mostly not recognized by senior leaders or strategists or thinkers, how important it is. So yes, PwC was a springboard. It had a bad connotation because I had to leave my job and find something else. And I doubt whether I should go into project management or just go to finance, marketing, sales, which had a bit more structure in their career. But I love project management. So my quest has been since then to show the value of project management to senior leaders. That's my focus. That's what I've been spending researching, writing, and try to convince senior leaders of the use of our skills.
So was that the passion, the drive that led you to set up Brightline when you were chair of PMI?
Yeah, that's the clear connection, Richard, of I wanted to influence. So I thought being the chairman of PMI, that's, I think, one of the positions you can influence most in the world of projects. And my whole year was focused on external things, not the project management profession, but how can my quest make it bigger? So that's where I pushed the idea of investing in awareness and research about connecting strategy with strategy implementation programs and projects. So that's where Brightline was born, and we've seen great results since 2016.
Antonio, you're no longer directly involved with Brightline, are you? You assembled a pretty impressive cast of players to help you bring that to life. Yeah, how is it going?
Well, Brightline was mostly focused on creating the awareness and providing new research, and that has been achieved. What I hear from the distance, as I'm no longer involved in PMI as a volunteer or in any means, is that Brightline is going to be integrated within PMI, and they're going to keep doing researching and more focus maybe on transformation, less so much on strategic implementation, but something more practical, which I think it's a good way to do, but it leaves another space, which is strategy implementation, the bigger picture. So I think that's where I'm coming next.
I was going to say, so having brought one amazing innovation to the world of programs and projects through Brightline as your role as chair of PMI, you've now set up the Strategy Implementation Institute. Yeah, what drove you to do that?
Well, there's a few factors, Richard. First, I thought there is not much career development opportunities for project managers, and yes, you can grow through the silo of project management into programs, portfolio, PMO. I've done that, but then at one point you want to connect with the business or the impactful really parts of the organization, and so I thought there's nothing. You can do an MBA, but that's 2 years. There is nothing that will bring us to a level where we can discuss strategy, implementation, competition, culture, leadership aspects. So from my own need and my teams of project managers, they were saying, I've done 20 years project management. I'm 45. Do I need to do project management for the next 20 years? And I said, no, there's other ways. So that was one of the reasons, maybe the biggest reasons. I want to replicate a bit the passion around PMI, the community, the sharing, the volunteering. So maybe that's in the second phase, but the first one was bringing something that is much in demand in the project management profession.
Antonio, some of us would think PMI is probably more of a business, more of a corporation than a membership body geared towards sharing ideas and making those ideas freely available to others. Is your intent behind the Strategy Implementation Institute to hold to those original values of sharing and community?
Absolutely. There is a sense of, yeah, it has to be a business to grow and bring benefits, but there's a big purpose behind, which is we want better results. We want people to be more successful. We want to join a community of experts who are happy to share and help each other. So the purpose of the Institute is stronger than the businesses. At the moment, of course, is more focused on getting the engine running, making us people aware and filling in this gap, but the purpose is the main driver.
And are people joining the Institute, are they from the program project management background, or is there a wide group of individuals who recognize the need to know more about strategy?
Yes, Richard, it's a good question. I would say half of them. We had a month down now since the launch. We had close to 40 people signing up to the online course, the Strategy Implementation online course, which is, it takes between 2 to 3 weeks, depends how much time. Then it leads to the Strategy Implementation Professional certification by APMG, by your organization, Richard. This will happen. So in 1 month, 40 people, that's already quite very positive feedback. 50% project managers, the rest are people who want to learn. Managers want to grow up into their business functions and learn about strategy. This would be the second biggest group. Managers who want to learn about strategy and implementation.
So the course is really aimed at people aspiring to implement strategy rather than people who are currently implementing strategy.
Absolutely. I think strategy people, they have good background, they've learned, so we can bring them a layer, but our target will be, Richard, a large company wants to build up the competencies around strategy implementation for their 500 project managers and managers. So that's where we bring this foundation. It's a foundation course will give you a good overview of strategy implementation and the tools. That's the kind of target that we're going for.
So with all your research and your thinking and your writing, how would you describe the difference between strategy implementation, transformation, digital transformation, change, and the delivery of objectives through programs and projects? Do these things overlap? Are they very similar, or are there unique differences between them? It could be a title, it could be a chapter in your forthcoming book for the Harvard Business Review.
It completely could be a chapter in the next book, Richard. You got it. I think there has been a lot of silos probably needed in the area of change, and we can call it strategy implementation, which is all about creating new things, creating value. And under that, you will find people doing change management, other people doing Agile, other people doing projects, other people doing product management. And I think for me, my vision is that we should have an umbrella, which is the strategy implementation, and then you have angles that you can bring. And for me, the ultimate professional in the world today is one person that understands change, product development, agile methods, and project implementation. That's what makes the strategy implementation professional an all-around player. And I think that's what I see companies lacking. We have lots of professionals, experts in one thing. We don't have that all-round individuals who can lead the future of the organization.
It took us 10 minutes before one of us mentioned the word Agile. Do you think Agile is a new concept, or do you think when you look back through your career that in programs and projects people have always been Agile?
I think, Richard, and I would say you would agree, being so many years in projects and programs and huge engineering work, is that we've been using Agile before the Agile Manifesto in 2001. We didn't call it Agile. I think the Agile is a nice branding. It's something was needed to change in the profession. So I embrace some of the concepts, but it has been there before. Let's be honest. It has been simplified, with something that I always advocate, to simplify the profession for the non-professionals. So they did that very, very good. So I see this is not new, and this is not 20 years old. This is coming from before.
So where do you sit on this argument between there is traditional and there is agile?
I think we need to be both. I think we need to mix. We need to know when to use some more discipline, more structure, good project planning and scheduling and scoping, and then sometimes of your phases in the project you might use. I always say, I'm trying to put that in the book, is that we call projects almost everything, and there are type of projects which are agile projects. When you're, even before the project starts, that's ideation, that you can do agile prototyping, and then once you know what you want, you cannot build a bridge in an agile way. It has to be clear, defined, measured, and then you execute. But the agile concept maybe is more at the beginning, some parts of the project. So I think it's completely marriage. It should be a good like marriage.
You mentioned the next chapter in the book. I understand you've just been appointed by the Harvard Business Review as an author. Did you put up a proposition, or do you have free reign on what you write?
No, I have a bit of free range, Richard. This has been one of my, my quest to influence leaders. HBR has been one of my targets. Thinkers 50 was one of my targets. Where are these people talking, and where are they going to be present? Peter Drucker Forum. And so Harvard was one of my targets. What's interesting, Richard, maybe behind the scenes, is that the latest project management book from Harvard was 2012. 2012, the world has changed a lot. And when I read the book, it's just a compilation of articles. It's not deep, it's not. So I was very surprised, but at the same time making the same point. HBR has not considered project management something important. So I think it's an opportunity to refresh the people around project concepts. And I want to take the opportunity to some of the ideas that you have and people I meet who are making like the project management of the future, which is that umbrella, that strategy implementation that we all want to get better at.
Antonio, that's a fabulous challenge. I'm sure with your successes to date, chair of PMI, Brightline, and now the Strategy Implementation Institute, I'm sure you will be the right person to write the book, Programs and Projects of the Future. Excellent. I look forward to reading it, if not even reviewing it. Many thanks for your time for joining us today. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Richard. A pleasure always.